Alright, Poetic Justice is here. I'm not sure where I left off last time. I believe this server crashed like it always does. And, and I had an iron deposit that I was going to start mining. But anyhow, I'm actually going to do something a little different instead. Because it seems like we don't have a house yet. There's a lot of mining I'll have to do. And one of the things is I really don't want to use this to make metal. Products are going to be tailings. The only thing is that nobody is buying our stone. I don't know why. We have the largest quantity of this kind of stone. I could have made roads instead. Because people would have certainly bought that. But if I did that, then I might not actually be... I don't know if I have to have this and roads to build roads, but nobody's building roads. The people who are building roads are only building roads to their friends. The only thing is that we don't have a road builder to connect everybody, and so I'm gonna eventually have to get my road set up. But one thing I am gonna have to set up is my house. So let's go ahead and look at the world map. See, there's roads right here. And if we could just connect to this road, that'd be great. That would be enough. And this individual's spreading their influence. But not enough to prevent us from getting our hands on the iron that's inside the water over here. And you can tell how they just like claim the land area. They don't actually claim the water. That's about the resources a little bit, but not necessarily. This person seems to be setting up something for oh wow. Looks like they got a road going across the ocean. But anyway, it's kind of upsetting because these people, we're gonna have to build our own road eventually. Well, for now, we'll just have to worry about our house because our house is what's gonna get us some skill points, and if we get some skill points, we're not gonna have to worry too much about roads. See, because we'll be able to eventually make our own roads. But then again, like, we're gonna become completely self-dependent. Being self-dependent means we're not a part of this society in some sense. So everything we're doing on our own. Things just don't work out that way. And that's where mint comes in. And mint, or central currency, is that's something we could do, but we're not going to because there's a world leader and somebody else is going to do it. Once they do it, depending on the nature of how they do it, they'll decide whether or not I'll make a mint. And if I make a mint, that's gonna make somebody upset. Let's see what he's doing. Traveling under the water. He's got a bow and arrow, so he's hunting. Oh, he's hunting bison. Anyhow, so I got my hammer. The only thing I don't have is a way to set up where exactly the edges of my property are. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my construction post out. And this will allow us to sort out where our property's edges. Should be close to here. Yep, here it is. It's approximately 495. And so here's the corner on one side. So now we have an idea of the scale of what house we could build. And I really want to build a house as far away from that as I can, but at the same time, I don't want the house to be protruding outside of my property. And if we can find any skill books, I can further extend our house. But this is relatively flat, because what I can do is I can put sand there on the floor, or dirt, or whatever, or I can, and that's one thing about making sand out of stone is you can use it to place sand inside the holes in the floor to make some foundation a little easier to make. So if we're gonna do anything quickly, we would probably end up needing a wagon, unfortunately. Let's see. Let's go ahead and check the market. A small wooden cart. Not a big one, this is a small one. Here's a road tool, which is good for us, but the thing is that to repair it, we need wood construction. So that's a bad investment. But here's something we don't have yet. Advanced campfire cooking. And it's relatively cheap. As it should be, of course. Now this isn't relatively cheap. This Jaden person with his bricklaying and cement. However, it is still something we can expand our property with. But before we do anything, we're gonna make sure we have our we're gonna make sure we have a wagon of some sort. Unfortunately, people they don't have a very user-friendly order thingy. Already know, don't know. Now this one we certainly don't know yet. Person with scrolls that are relatively expensive. And this person has these backpacks here. And I'm not really sure if we would ever need that, really, because we don't do much with small items ourselves. And it looks like there's only one wagon in this game we can use. And that's going to be... right here. This guy's store. SG, whatever his name is. Now the problem is that these people specialized in wood. They specialized in early game things. But despite their specialties, they refuse to sell these items knowing that people are going to need them. And when they finally do, they sell them for a ridiculous price that's so ridiculous that the amount of profit they would get would probably be enough that if I was to give them everything they wanted, like a good chunk of my stone would be gone from one of these piles, but not the whole pile. This whole pile of stone is probably worth more than that. Well, way more actually. Like a wagon, I would say, would be reasonably placed at maybe 50 of this stone here, if we went off of the material cost. But the individuals who set this stuff up, they don't set up any kind of contracts or anything. They don't, so there's no way that we can go to their board and post what we want and then do it. They're not going to. So anyhow, plans for a house. What I was thinking is, we'll define a few things first before we actually start doing this. Like where we want the front to be. Like, I want there to be at least 3 open space between here and the house. Actually 4, because 4 is good in terms of traveling. Like, I could end up connecting that roof, like from the side or something over here, and put stuff here. I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, I'd like to make this like a little alleyway, but like a big one, and make it look nice. So, for aesthetic purposes, which are probably going to go to waste, we'll go ahead and dig out 7. 2 rooms that are approximately the same size as this big room here. Maybe a little smaller, actually. Maybe a little bigger, I don't know. And that'll be the kitchen and the general room. And then we need 3 more rooms after that. The living room, the living room, the restroom, and forgot the last room. But what we'll remember. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place stone down to represent the outline, and we'll probably end up redoing it just to make it look nice. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how nice I make it look, because nobody's gonna see it if there's no roads and reasons to pass by it. And by the time I end up getting steel up, like, that's the thing, getting iron going, getting steel going, or anything going. Once we get that stuff going, then people are gonna flock to us because they're going to want something. This is just digging out a general area. The first 2 rooms that we will have, I guess I'll put the 2 rooms this way, and maybe see, this is tough. Clear out enough just so we can mark the area, and we're just going to mark the floor off, and that way we can get an idea of where the rooms are going to be. So I'm probably going to have to make an upstairs. We just don't have stair blocks, so I won't be able to make stairs that look nice. And we also might be adding, like I said, another story to this. And that's going to benefit us in terms of having more space, but unfortunately, it'll also not look too nice if we do it wrong. Like I might end up having to destroy these upper blocks here. Just the upper ones though, and kind of keep this looking like a cozy little roof thingy, even though it's not. Try to keep the terrain even because we're probably going to be building our own road, like I said. So I really hate how this is a wooden shovel. We have a Bloomberg or whatever, but we don't have an anvil. And if we can get an anvil up, then we can start working with iron stuff. But we're gonna need a tilling disposing area, which is gonna require me to dig into the river. Damn. So if this was like a lake, for example, and I was to put or a river, and I was to put all my dirt in it, that would kill all the fish that we're going through, and so nobody would be able to fish there. And fish do go through rivers, but like the person who you saw on they made a road that goes from this continent to the next continent. Let me show you all again. They probably, even though this seems really small, killed a lot of fish, but it doesn't really matter that they killed a lot of fish because nobody's probably fishing except the cook, and there's probably so many fish in this world that doesn't matter that he killed a lot. However, in the update coming with boats, I don't know if that's going to be a good idea to build a road across the ocean without making it elevated. And now we finish this off. Voila. Nice square area. So, going to be most likely the general room. And I wanted to make it look really aesthetic, then I'd have to count 7 out here and probably put a kitchen, which I'll probably do because look at how little of the dirt I'll have to move. Get rid of this water here. Even though it's completely pointless to have water generate like that, but aesthetics are extremely important in a game like this. Because if the game didn't look nice, it doesn't matter how good the graphics are, even though the graphics are a little bit high in the settings. All that does is really disrupt people's computers. It doesn't really, doesn't look lovely. It doesn't have any art style to it or whatnot. This game has kind of an art style to it. It's unique in its own right. Now, one thing I'd like to do is keep this modular, and if we could keep this modular, and the only way I could do that, because of the small amount of land we have, is I would have to build, like, I guess the restroom here. And then I'd have to make the last 2 rooms like the living room and the bedroom upstairs. But I could build the bedroom upstairs and the living room right here instead. That way it'll fit more. And then we could just push out this way when we want to expand our rooms. I have all this empty space, so we have to have a second story if we're going to do that kind of thing. But the thing is, I don't want to put the second story in a place that's going to look homeless. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Beta access, everybody. But anyhow, I'd probably end up putting the stairs somewhere over here. And then the problem is by putting the stairs somewhere on this side of the house, if I ever expand the rooms, I have to move the stairs. And that's not too bad, but I'd really like to get rid of these stairs. Have like a little a roof, I guess. And away, I guess, from the whatever room's gonna be above this one. Probably the bedroom. Actually, I'll probably put the bedroom there. Even though I want to put the stairs on the inside, it might not be a good idea. I might just do it though, just to make it look nice, because that's just the kind of person I am. So let's avoid these game-breaking holes in the ground, and we'll contemplate our staircase in a second, where we're gonna put it. Alright, so this is edging our property here. See? But that's gonna be our kitchen, and we luckily still have space. So I guess it's better to do it this way than just building the rooms like I was originally going to. Because then we would have wasted a lot of space if this wasn't gonna fit. We wouldn't have known until the last second. I actually should have started at the edge, but I didn't because aesthetics were a factor in my decision. And so anyhow, if that's edging our territory, then we're not going to be able to build the staircase on the opposite side too far. 6, 7. Four, 5, 6, 7. And of course, we're going to remove those in a little bit. Okay, fine. We do have room to build a kind of staircase room of sorts. The only thing is I don't know how fitting it's going to look. But basically we could use this little space here. Have a staircase that goes up from here, but you have to be inside the house to use it. And that's kind of what I'll do. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Luckily, this is the only dirt we're going to be moving after in this area. We're just literally going to elevate this down one. Dirt, but it's going to be the only time we have to do this on our property until we find another reason, I guess. Now, if somebody really liked dirt, I'd give them all my dirt, but they have to pay me something. And that's the thing, is that the only people who want these kind of things that nobody actually wants it for free. But the thing is, they want it because they can use it. And I'd be okay with giving it to them if they were okay with giving me stuff that I want, but they don't, but they're not going to. Because they're trying to be selfish and they're trying to game everybody. Trying to hustle their own parents. In real life, I bet. Anyway, I'm gonna have to dig a hole inside the that river, and it's going to be really annoying because it's gonna go all the way to bedrock, and it's gonna have to be 5 by 5 approximately. It'd make it smaller, but I don't think I want to do that because of the potential of ease. Somebody can just cause problems near it if it's a small hole, but I don't know, 5 by 5 seems fitting, but I could do 3 by 3 instead because I just need to make sure that I can jump down that hole and that there's going to be a way back up. And of course the way back up is the water from the river. If the river was to dry somehow, like here's something that people could do if they really wanted to. It'd be very annoying, but it could be done. And that's go to the top of the river and block the top of the river. I don't really know what the effects of that would be. I don't know, but I would test it, and if it did anything, then I would very much consider how easy it would be for somebody to block rivers and cause havoc because of it. In practice, it should be causing havoc, not just in theory, but the game developers aren't very considerate about some of the things they do, I guess, in terms of the content in their game. They have a roadmap, apparently, for what they want to add to the game, but there's no, I haven't seen it myself. Other people talk about it. I really don't think they have a very good idea. Oh, geez, somebody's on our property. Oh, they're gonna look around. Good thing for us, there's nothing they can really do on our property, but they're gonna try to find holes in our system. Let's go ahead and see if they, oh, okay, they haven't done anything yet. And this is why I hate the, starting with a wooden shovel. I really wish they had stone shovels or something. Because you gotta damage trees just to get more shovels. And then when we get the blast furnaces, one of the things we can also do is we can raise the water level across the whole world. And it'll moisturize the crap out of everything. And it'll turn grasslands into wetlands, and be sure will essentially start becoming wetlands and desert and crap, but it won't have sand. But basically, yeah, the ocean levels can rise quite a bit in this game because of climate change, which of course is climate always changes in real life. It's just the argument is whether or not man is responsible for any of it, or if we are just too tiny to cause a problem. I would bet that we're too tiny to cause a problem at the moment in real life, because in real life, yeah, sure, we have oil and cars and all this other stuff, but we aren't really using it as abundantly as we could. And the reason why is because certain small individuals actually want to manipulate and corner the market, and they don't want anyone else to get in the market, so that's why they come up with this kind of stuff. It's a lot of money, and people get assassinated over it in real life, etc. Before we build this floor, we're gonna have to make sure that we up these walls height so that we know exactly where the walls are. So I think this could be the living room. Like I said, this is the general room. This is the kitchen, and then upstairs would be the very first room would be the bedroom, and the second room would be the restroom, which will be above the general room. But it won't be connected to the general room, and that restroom will also have a... I could make that an extra room actually right there, and then I can have it outside coming here. That'd be a lot more stone to use, and I'm not sure how much stone we actually have to use for that kind of stuff, because this is a... We're just gonna make sure we have our house. Nobody wants to use mortared stone, so we're gonna use our mortared stone. Mark corners so we can define where the walls are. We really didn't need to mark this. Oh wait, we haven't dug that out yet. And since nobody's trading with us, we're not really going to get our hands on any kind of food, because nobody wants mortared stone. And in fact, we'll see who wants mortared stone, and it'll probably be like they want nothing for it. So this person wants regular stone, and they'll give me 2 the credits for it. This person will give me 3 credits for regular stone, and I want 200. This person will give me 2 credits, and you know, I don't know what they're selling. Alright, so here's the M's. No mortared stone. Nobody wants any mortared stone. Our business would literally only be good in regular stone. Buys in mortared stone. So I guess it was a mistake to process so much mortared stone for people. So I guess we'll be using all this in our own house because nobody's gonna buy it. But we could still sell regular stone and stuff like that. What we're gonna want. And I'm not trying to merchant people, but if we do end up selling regular stone is going to end up being sold, and I'm going to be buying regular stone, and the stone I'm buying is going to be worth less than the stone I'm going to sell. Yeah, I'm going to kind of rip people off on that way, but I'm not really ripping them off in reality. Because they have to pay for convenience, even though it's not convenient for them to come all the way to my house with no roads. And I really want to dig all this out already so we can just mark everything. Alright, so I need 2 stones to mark this correctly. So, what to do with this dirt? And of course, the simple answer would be to try to make it elevated, kind of non-road kind of thing. See, that's what I think is gonna have to happen here. I'm gonna end up putting dirt across that river, but I don't want to put dirt on the river. So we're probably gonna make like a stone bridge, and then we're gonna put dirt over that stone bridge. And then we're going to keep putting dirt out to go to the other side more easily. That's one thing we could do with that dirt, but it'll require, like I said, some of our stone. And one thing about these stones when you place them on the floor, if you look at the edge here, the edge is actually connected pretty well to the grass, so I think carrying a wagon across this wouldn't be a problem. It is right now is that we're running low on food, and so we're gonna have to go and grab some of our food. and hope the server doesn't crash, so that I wouldn't have to start anything all over again. Alright, let's see what this guy's, Alright, nobody's claiming land near us. That's good. We're the owners of this nice big area, and nobody's near us. It's nice, quiet, etc. Another thing I could do with these stockpiles here is I could make a public stockpile over here and just have a whole bunch of dirt stockpiles that are public, and that could ruin well, actually it wouldn't ruin the bed, because as you can see, this is a bunch of sand here and there's no fish, so it wouldn't really ruin it too much. I don't even think there's fish here. Let's see. There's a few fish, but it's further away from this little spot here. And most of this area over here is devoid of life, it looks like, in the water. It still doesn't mean that we couldn't do something with it to make more fish if we wanted to do some terraforming for the fish, or some terraforming for the bison, because bison love grasslands, and you could make artificially make wetlands or grasslands. And bison, of course, nothing. I've never seen too many animals like the wetlands that just either grasslands or forest, and the elks are going to want to be around trees. And you can go grow trees in that kind of grassland-like environment. So that's a lot of terraforming that would have to be done, but if you wanted to, you could actually do that, and that could up the population of the animals more. I wonder how much my stone I'm going to be using for this, because this is quite a big project already, and just by looking at it. A little worried. And if I can make the stairs modular, we might be able to do something with the house that goes beyond just the aesthetics of, like have a nice castle house. Maybe even upgrade this to look stone and keep it connected. Because if things run the way I think they're gonna run, then I better start killing a whole lot of bison in a little bit. That's a lot of beans. And that's a lot of arrows. I don't know why you can produce that much, unless you're gonna do a genocide. That's a ridiculous price for pitch, and that's a lot of pitch. And I am saying it's a ridiculous price because I know the person selling it, and they put their stuff at a ridiculous price and all that. And so you see the corn and these beans and stuff like that. That's actually really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find this guy here. Of course, he would be all the way on the other side of the world. That'll probably be the only useful shop to us, because wagons aren't going to be very useful yet if we don't have a road. But they'll be useful for moving a lot of dirt around. But if they can only carry, because I forgot how much dirt weighs. It says it weighs 30 kilograms. But there's no way, because I'm pretty sure you could put a lot more than 30 kilograms inside of a wagon. I normally put 25 dirt blocks inside of a wagon. That would be a lot more than that, because the wagon carries 15 kilograms. Or at least a small one. Because of the way that the game developers make dirt, it just seems so much easier just to carry it yourself instead of using anything else. Dang it, I didn't want to dig there. And the good news is we don't have to... We're not using this skill a whole lot. Like if we were a road builder, we specialized in building roads and all this other stuff, we could do a whole bunch of contracts. But nobody will deal with us, you see. And then if you end up being that person that's that important and everybody does deal with you, then you end up being the prime target of like trolls and griefers. I could also scout pretty well. I could also probably try to do something I haven't done before and bin one of these bisons into an enclosed space, and I wonder if they'll survive or if they'll die in that space. See, that kind of flattens everything out, and we can flatten this out more and then extend it that way. We don't own the property, so if somebody wants to troll us, that would be a problem, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And we're gonna have to dig through that coal eventually so we can make some tailing. And Jaden is on the server, and Jaden is he's the host of the server, I believe. Offense. And so right now on skill points, we need 8 skill points to iron ingots inside the Bloomberg, but we need, I think it's 8 more or 10 to work with the. But we certainly need 20 skill points altogether over here to get the blast furnace. But we're currently at 32 skill points a day, and we're not getting any skill points from the house. So we really need to work on our house, or else it's gonna take 2 days, 2 full days, before we can start doing stuff and making a lot of progress. Okay, let's continue. Destroy these sand bits. And these awkward little placed things of dirt. And we'll probably have to, if we're gonna do anything like that, we'll probably, yeah, we'll do stuff later. Because we're really edging our property here. And like I said, I don't want anybody to troll or grief us. Yeah, we have quite a bit of problems right now because the food. So getting that charred food from that guy is going to be important. I'll probably end up buying him out. For safety purposes, obviously, like a safety net. And that's what happens when you don't coordinate enough with people, is that people end up having to buy stuff out. As I'm doing this, the grasslands expand, even though there's sand under it and not more dirt. I don't know how long each tick is on this server, but I think it's like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Then the server decides on its own to update everything when it does. It dictates whether or not the grass is going to grow a little further or animals are going to die. And the rate can be changed, but the host of the server thinks that it can't because he doesn't look at the user interface. But he said he couldn't see it, so he might be telling the truth on that one, because it's difficult to see anything on the user interface. I'll go ahead and finish the dirt off. And that little spot right there I was putting dirt at, so that if we ever actually start doing what we were gonna do. Jeez, man. We really need a stone brazier, but I don't think we have. And if we get a stone brazier up, yeah, let's go ahead and cancel these projects. And they'll just be good for visual purposes. What's this? I think we get copper over there. And I'm gonna keep using stone straight from this area here, even though we need to start using stone under the coal. But we need to start using coal It's stone braziers, so we'll probably have 2 stone braziers that we'll make. Heck, we'll probably even sell some, maybe start a little stone brazier coal thing going. But we still need to decide what we want to buy. Which is the problem. If we don't have anything that we're going to buy, then nobody's going to be able to get credits from us. So anyhow, as that's going, I'm going to go ahead and take a little short break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the extensive wait. Um, looks like we're gonna have to eat already. So the good news is we can actually get started on our iron smithing. We still need a total of 3 points before we can start doing some iron blast furnace thing. And we might end up putting the blast furnace on the roof in its own room. Tier, then of course, this material we're using here. Of course, we don't have brick, so the person who makes bricks also is going to be selfish with them. But we can wait it out till we get a better material that we need. Raw commodity should always be very important, but the most important raw commodity is the iron ore. And that's going to be where we try to game stuff at. We're not like other people. We're practical. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to steal everybody's money and completely destroy and put a wrench in the engine of the economy in the game. We're trying to keep it going and start it up and all this other stuff. And so I thought infrastructure was going to put itself together, and I'm tired of making infrastructure, so that's why I didn't go roads this time. But it looks like I should have. This is a lot of stone we're going to be using. So I might as well just say something about this. I was on a server where people made their own mint, and they forced everybody to use their mint, and everybody who didn't use their mint got banned from the game. And of course that means I got banned from the game. But before that happened, actually I got banned. People had created a bad reputation for me because I told the people around them that you should refuse this mint, because what's going to happen is they're going to use the mint so that they can take anything they want from you for free. And they, of course, own 90% of everybody's stuff. Now, the admin could choose to have spawned in anything he wanted in the game. And so, in reality, it doesn't matter how much gold was circulating. Basically, the admin should have gave people their own gold. That way, they could use their own money, and it is theirs. It was theirs. Um, but basically use their own money so that they could, and here we're gonna have our door, so that the economy could flow. Instead, what it turned into is only one guy had all the money, which was the guy who made the mint. Everyone was forced to use his mint. I think I'll leave two big windows on the kitchen on the sides for aesthetics. So what ended up happening was there was people who could make bricks. There was people who could make food. There was people who could farm and all this other stuff. And they were all doing it. Everybody needed all that stuff. Only one guy could get their hands on it. And that's because they had the currency, or ownership of the currency, if you will. Let's see if anyone has doors for sale. Of course, they probably don't. Of course, there is no doors for sale. But anyhow, what happened is that the guy who had all the currency was the guy who was telling everybody to use his currency. But everybody else thought they had currency because he gave them 1/10 of what they actually should have had. By doing that, he had 9/10 of their currency, of all the currency in circulation. So essentially, the only thing circulating in the economy was barely even 10% of everything that could have been circulating, because 90% of everything in the whole game from all the players belonged to this guy. You see what I'm saying? He only gave 10% to the people to use. And so nobody had a brick house, nobody had any houses, nobody had anything. He just kept it all. And that's not capitalism because it was forced on everybody. They had to accept that system, or else they were going to get banned. You know, some people might think, oh, that was a smart idea. And those same people will later be the ones who complain about how messed up it is whenever they actually have to take part in that system in real life. Like, think about how many dollar bills actually get circulated into the economy whenever the dollar bills are made. And think about what happens to the ones that aren't circulated. Yeah, the stairway is going to be important, so I'm gonna work in the stairway room. That way, we'll have some stairs to go up. And while we have a nice house, other people are gonna have no house, unfortunately. But we ourselves are gonna run into some issues in terms of food. That's really why I want to get this house up. I could put a back door. Get nicer, but I don't know about that. And after this, we're gonna work really hard on getting that food. Those, that overpriced food too. I think it's overpriced. Let's check. Okay, so this guy wants, yeah, it's overpriced food. Oh, man. On purpose, because now I could just go and kill some bison and contemplate the real location of my skill point. This is why it takes longer for games to actually succeed in their mission of stopping the meteor. So this is gonna be, each room will be about 5 by 5. It's a shame to see these stockpiles go. We could put 2 doors here. One for the general room and one for the living room. That animal scared me. Also, this, like I said, this series is gonna be like, this isn't even a series. This is gonna be a few videos. I'm not even probably gonna finish a playthrough of this maybe before I get banned from the server or whatnot. I'm not gonna do anything to get banned. It just happens normally. It's just what happens. And the more doors you add, depending on where you add it, it also makes it nicer, but it also saves materials. We also have a nice view up here of our house. Then we got more stone in the back, and we got some stone on the side. I'm hoping this is gonna be enough stone, because I know the floor is the most amount of stone until we build our second floor. And I made a boo-boo. There we go. Got stuck. And so for the stairs, which we're gonna make so we can... Oh, shit. Let's see. So when people look at things like this, they look at the house and they're like, oh, let's see what excuse I can make to complain about something instead of fucking minding my own fucking business. He's probably on the Discord channel. So anyway, yeah, there's gonna be 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we actually build stairs, we're gonna have to redo the stairs. I already know the design I'm going to use for the actual stairs on the stairwell. If we get stone construction ever, then the meter person looks like they didn't miss anything. So, still going to press on. Whoops. That. There we go. Now, and this one door here is a good placement because when we actually get stairs that we can visually place, we're going to have a stair here. Then it's going to be flat here, so that way we can have stairs going up. But we might also have to start the stair here. So 2 stairs going up, then a flat, and then going up. And that'll make it just right so that we can go up the stairwell without having to jump on any blocks like we're gonna have to for a while. I should probably check on my braziers. So what have I done? So Namita's probably looking for some holes in our system. It's just what people do. That's why socialism doesn't work. An excuse so we can deconstruct everything. This is a kind of a big building. With the shop there. Alright, let's see. Stone braziers. I think we have two doors. Let's place them like that. It just looks like it's gonna be nice. I sure love mining in the dark. At the start of this video, by the way, you probably weren't expecting this to be. There's one. And that actually will last like a long time, because this coal here is very good for fuel. I really don't want to make this look too ugly, but I'm gonna have to. Sorry if you have OCD. Boom! And of course you might have realized that I'm always negative about people. It's because I always have to be cautious, because I'm always the prime target of people who want to destroy the system, because I'm the infrastructure. Now in this game right now I'm not, because I'm just building a house for myself and I'm got stone, so I'm not really that important. I'm probably gonna move those braziers actually. The aesthetic's not appeasing to me. There we go. Now that's more appeasing. Now, having them on the inside could have been more appeasing, but if this house was, I guess, further out, but having it on the inside and outside of between these two doors, it would probably be optimal if I was going for max aesthetics. But really, we need these skill points. So we just gotta balance what we got. Now, like I said, we could save some stone here for the kitchen. But to do it, we're gonna have to make some windows. We could put the windows one up. That way, you know, it can symbolize heat escaping kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? From the kitchen. But if we put it down here like this, then it's like a little different. And because we're designing for a kitchen, obviously the house is going to look nicer, because each room has to be different to be designed the way it is, and there's a little secret there to architecture when it comes to making something look nice, is that each room has a purpose, and so designing the room in its own manner really gives it its uniqueness that everybody likes. Oh yeah. Ninja style. Oops, almost fell. Oh, almost fell again. Alright, let's try to carefully place these windows without falling off. I waste a lot of calories when we have to do that. You can see this is coming together a little better. We're gonna at least get the bottom floor, that's for sure. Now the top floor, I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but we're gonna need a butcher and stuff like that. And I hope somebody who's a carpenter is not gonna try to mess us over a little bit, because that's why I'm using the stone, is because nobody wants to be trading and building roads for me. Nobody even communicates with me about what they want to give. So it's obvious that I'm gonna have to do it this way. Now from here it's gonna be a little easier to build upward because we don't have to worry about doors or windows anymore. Now the living room, I don't think needs light. The living room's normally, because the living room just needs a single table. But the more tables you put in the living room, the more diminishing returns catch up to you. In terms of points being lost for that room. Alright. Boom. So we're 3 up so far. We need to go up 2 more and then we are finished. It's a real shame we don't have stone construction, and we're not going to bother with it either until we get our stuff situated properly. We're going to probably need efficiency for smelting down that iron so that we can with a lot of iron being produced. One thing somebody has suggested on the server, which I thought was really stupid, and so should everybody else, is to ban excavators. We haven't even started using excavators yet on the server. And somebody already wants to ban excavators because it's not because it pollutes, but because they think it's going to lag the server. But it's not going to lag the server unless somebody abuses the excavator. Now the bad thing with excavators is that you have to, they do produce lag when it comes to how they drop stuff on the floor. Oh man, come on. And whenever you have an excavator, it grabs a whole bunch of dirt. But you can also mine rocks. And when it mines rocks, it'll just pick them all up. And it'll set them down, and they'll end up in these, like if these were placed but not inside of a stockpile, and you have to manually pick them up. Excavators can't place things in stockpiles automatically, but you can put your excavator next to a stockpile and manually move stuff out of the excavator without having to do anything like that, which is what makes people really stupid because they don't know how to use the excavator properly. Now, it's a hard thing to use, but you don't have to dump dirt on the floor. You can manually move it from the inventory of the excavator to the actual thing that you're trying to do. So if this was the Middle Ages or whatever, the Knights of the Round Table, I'd be a rich guy if I have a house like this. Well, actually, maybe not, because a lot more people could have had houses like this in the old days compared to today. Today, when everything's regulated so bad that you can't really do anything. For the sake of regulations. Now I'm gonna give it to the guys who made this game. The textures come together well when it comes to construction, but outside of construction, whenever it comes to like building roofs, the roofs get annoying, and it's not very user friendly to make roofs. But it's still somewhat appealing if you can get it right. It's just the systems to get it right are not user friendly. So I wonder if the guy who Namita was more upset than they were interested in what we were doing, because of the fact that we are producing mortared stone, and we're using our own mortared stone that we worked for, that we went through the process of getting our mortared stone. We're using it to build our house, God forbid, and that's something that bothers people, it seems. But nobody's trading us, and we need our stock to. So it looks like we've used approximately 2 stockpiles. We might have enough to get almost complete the upper floor, but it won't complete the upper floor entirely if we finish on what it feels like in terms of what we have. I'll go ahead and place this there. Also, as you can guess, I very much disapprove of homeowners associations of any sort in real life. They can be very full of idiots, and that's because guess who's the people who came up with homeowners association? Regular people who didn't do the work to make the house sometimes. But sometimes the guys who contract to make the house do it. It's random sometimes. And they'll sell the house, and then the community decides that they want to do it. But lately it hasn't been too much community. But it kind of has been. People will say, "Oh, I'll build you a house, but you gotta obey my rules." And this is how foreigners influence our political system. They can't become president of the United States, but they can become the president of my assets, basically, in the United States. So yeah, this stairway has one more, and that's going to be the foundation for the next floor. And then whenever we actually get stuff up and going in terms of stone construction, which won't be for a while, then we'll have what we need to do what we gotta do. Oh yeah. And I miss. Most people too that are foreign and they want to game politics in another country, what they do is they look at what other countries had happened to them, and they try to replicate it in another country that's superior to their own. We might be removing some stone from there so we can add more windows to the kitchen, but that's about it. But yeah, we're not going to be able to finish the second floor. If we do it, we're going to only be able to do maybe 2 rooms, but not the third one. Which would be enough if we made our bedroom, I guess, the come after the restroom. But as for the people who like homeowners associations and like socialism and didn't read a history book when they were a little kid because they had poor education, before you make your opinions, obviously you gotta do the research. You can't just say stuff like myself right now and have not done any research. You don't know what you're talking about. But one thing that they do is they'll listen to me talk right now, and I'm saying, oh, you need to do your research. And what they'll do is they'll tell somebody else the same thing because they heard me say it. Monkey see, monkey do, etc. You know the saying. And in reality, they're not coming up with their own words. They're using somebody else's words. They don't really come up with their own ideas. They steal it from other people and blame. That's just the truth to it. Like those people, the kind of people who support socialism today are just copycats, really, of systems that don't work, but they almost did, and they convince people. So it's easy to commit fraud with them and stuff on entire populations, especially whenever the education's lacking. We might do windows on these rooms also to save stone. Oh yeah. Jeez, our stone stockpile's gone. If we do windows on it, it'll look better. So yeah, I'm gonna do windows on it. But the entire final floor that I'm about to make after this is gonna be foundation. Come on. I think it'll be better to make it in the inside. Bam. Bam. And the most sensitive people are always the ones who don't actually have any direction whenever they talk. Everything you say offends them. And of course I'm talking about socialists still. And that's because everything they think is wrong. And once you destroy their core values, they just essentially autistically screech, etc. space. I need some pots, dang it. And there we go. Now, one thing that would be cool is if I actually get my stone construction skill up. What I'm going to do is I'll probably end up making this part of this wall here glass, just because it might look uniquely aesthetic. I know that sounds completely out of place, but I think I've seen something like it before. It kind of reminds me of how a log cabin was designed that I once went in real life, obviously. And so, here we go. Final steps. Now let's go ahead and get a good look at it. No, what was that? It's like a butterfly or a person? The buffalo. Rest in peace, bison. But anyhow, we don't want to make holes in the floor on this one. For efficiency purposes, because that will just ruin the whole house. And let's see. Go ahead and make the final step. Bam. And we'll go ahead and place this all the way over here. And we'll check the map. And as you can see our house on the map as it's being constructed. We have enough room, funny enough, for like 3 different types of stations in there, and that's a lot of space. And that's all getting used on a house. That's not getting used on an actual industry. Like, it would be interesting to see, like, if you made a house like place for industry stuff, that the game would make something more efficient, like be produced quickly and stuff like that if you had certain materials or, you know, certain rooms. So the game designer, he has something over Minecraft on that aspect. I certainly have to redo a review on that. Now, some people might find it interesting, some people might not. Hey, buffalo. Here's somebody. Look at our house. Nope. They don't even. They probably didn't even see it because their graphics settings are too low for this kind of game. So I'm gonna write a note real quick. So this house looks more aesthetic than anything I probably built in Minecraft, even though it's just one big, nice, chunky cube. And what makes it aesthetic, that makes it more interesting, is this game is really resource management based in terms of how efficient you can do something because of the resources you got. And on top of that, you need to be required to have a specific amount of resources to even build something to begin with. So there's a lot of there's regulation in the game naturally. And I guess in a sense in real life there would be if to some degree, but not really anymore because of how easy it is to get your hands on anything to build a house. The only thing hard to get your hands on to build a house is just legally owning property. And not a lot of people legally own property in the US. You can buy property. You can buy a mortgage, everything, but you can't own the land for mineral rights. And if you do, you have to pay, but you can only be renting the mineral rights. And you have to live in a certain state. And you have to live on the property for a certain number of years to have mineral rights. And that's why banks illegally foreclose houses even though the person owns the house and not the bank for those rights to the property. Because after like 30 years or something, like a whole bunch of ridiculous number of years, the person can legally fight to have permanent rights of the property. And the only way to take it from them is very illegally. And that's why all the time there's lobbyists trying to steal people's houses and crap. It's not ethical, and there are double standards that are held, and I guess Thomas Jefferson was right. The banks are trying to steal our houses. Then the primary reason I won't be able to finish the second floor has to do with the roof. And this roof is going to take a lot of materials to finish. As you can see, we've got a floor here that we're building, and this floor is going to take a lot of materials. We could finish this floor here, I guess. And that's good, right there. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we got our stone brazier still. And now we could move this over here now. Boom. Look at that. And if we put those braziers in the inside instead of the outside, you would be like, oh hey, there's light. As if to see the contract board better, but I think this is going to be good. I bet this video is going to be long. Zero views. And now that that board's gone, I think it'll be easier to look at the front of my building. And then you can see I just take the stairs off and make a bridge here. And that will be, I think that'll be better. The bridge has to be aesthetic though. So unless I unlock pillars, I'm not gonna be making the bridge because I need the pillars to make it look like handrails, and then I need to make it look like there's support between the house and the other house, or else it'll just look ugly. A little bit anyway. Oh, no. Thanks. There we go. And so this is what it's going to look like, obviously, for now. But then we're going to have another floor. And the thing I'm questioning about the second floor is having windows throughout. The only thing is the middle room won't have windows in the same place because there's going to have to be a door that leads to the bridge. So that middle room's going to be like an interlude of sort and have no real purpose beyond transporting things. And I'm talking about the upper floor, obviously, not the lower floor. The lower floor has a clearly defined purpose, and that is a living room, general room, and kitchen. And all these rooms being built, and we still don't receive points for skill points for having a house. But yeah, if I place a chair in a room, the more chairs I place, I'll still receive more points, but they diminish in return. And the guy who made the server set his own rates, I think, so you have to build a house of certain skill. Okay, this is the kitchen. This is the end of the kitchen for us. It's over. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Now we got 2 more to do, and that's it. Just these 2 holes. And the stairs we're gonna keep like this. We're only gonna work on them whenever we I'm gonna mark them. And so what that's going to do is whenever we continue building up, we're going to know where the rooms are without having to worry about where we're going to place walls. We didn't have to build these as long as we did, but we just needed a marker. Not too many windows could be bad, but those are elevated windows. In the kitchen, we don't have to worry about that too much. It's a little harder to glitch through the floor entirely in this kind of place because we're on the second story. But we're gonna need more stone to repair this hammer. Say this guy here, he just trained basic crafting efficiency. So now he's really good at crafting basic stuff. The only thing is he gonna open a shop? If so, is he gonna need my mortared stone? Because look at how much mortared stone I'm using just to make a house. And how much people bought. And then you saw the other house maybe with the hewn logs. And that was pretty big too. And the thing is that stone, mortared stone is tier 1, but it's even though it's tiered 1, it's not necessarily something that people end up, or like if you had to choose between hewn logs and this, I would choose mortared stone any day. Not because I specialized in the server, but alright, so we accidentally, nope, that's not what I wanted. Accidentally placed the stone in the wrong place. Why? And so you can look at what everybody's doing. Jaden's building dirt ramps, so he's obviously making dirt. But he's the host of the server. He doesn't even have to build that. He could just use command to make roads, but he's doing it legit. So that's kind of good. That's a good sign. When a host doesn't do something legit, then they're normally going to just abuse their power because they don't take anything serious. It's a wolf. We're almost done. And so are my stockpiles. So I guess we wouldn't have been able to build any roofs, probably at the top floor. We're gonna have to do another 1,000 mortared stone to do anything. Or to finish this off. And then we're gonna have to do another 1,000 mortared stone so that we have some stock. What better way to sell your mortared stone than to sell the aesthetics of a unfinished house? Let's go ahead and get some stone and repair our tools and then prepare to eat. Now, if I actually place a stone brazier here on the side of my property, it's going to be down here at nighttime because coal is black and it's really hard to see. I hate how every time I put stone, it's always going to it never breaks all the way. Like there should be some benefits to increasing your efficiency at breaking rocks. Like the rocks always break all the way. And that's it. There we go. Now on the next so yeah, this house just looks horrible from the inside. It's like going outside without clothes or something. This feels bad. Oh, it's a carpentry table. It's a bed. Gonna need this small table. Plop. I guess for the rest, we're gonna need some bases. We're gonna need a lot of stuff actually. Wonder if we can make a butchery table. Probably not. We're gonna have to go to Techless shop. Actually, we might not have to go to Techless shop at all. We can deal with this. We just need to get rid of some of these so we can. Actually, we don't have to get rid of those. We can keep it the way it is. Oh, wrong place. Come on, man. Alright, so we're gonna need. I don't know what this tallow lamp's good for. I don't even think it gives you any kind of bonus for putting it in your house. But we'll need 2 square pots and 2 round ones, so that should give us some points. That way we don't have to use that one person's stuff. Because they don't realize that they're overpricing. Actually, they do. I'm just not gonna lie about it. They realize it. They're just selfish. In a stupid way, though. Not in the way that it's productive. Overall, in the end, you get what you want, no matter how the outcome is. It's selfish in a way where you're actually hurting yourself in the process, just so you can kind of get what you want. Not really. Let me with the Discord link. Doesn't matter if everybody gets linked to the same channel, and nobody's gonna work together. Everything's gonna be bad. So eventually this is gonna be stone as well. The only thing is to go to the upstairs, you're gonna have to go through the house. Put some side stairs here, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because I'm aesthetics, etc. Now the final step is the coal. Garbage. One of our little coal over here flew into space. So we're gonna have to go to the surface and look for it because I guess the server is gonna lag it a little bit or something. Yeah, the server's gonna start lagging soon. That's the only time that happened. Alright, so of all this grass, we just need to find a single there it is. And that's how you keep everything from lagging. By finding your shards. That'd be cool if there was an animation where this opened and you can see the inside a little better in some way. There's a level cage on the side with fire coming out of it. I don't know what these tallow lamps are good for. Ah, great. What's this? So let's see what these guys got to say. Uh-oh. No. Wait. Wait. So I can't make this guy a stove right now, or else I'd have a stove in my kitchen over there. So I'm telling this person if he can get rid of my tailings for me, I'll make it from it. But he's probably gonna want me to fucking break my arm and leg for him to do something, and it's not even me benefiting from it. This guy thinks I'm joking around. person, they're contemplating what they're gonna do with the tellings if I make tellings. The only problem is if they make a deal with me, then the only way I'm gonna give them the product is if they get rid of those tellings. It's like this person just doesn't fucking know how, doesn't realize that it takes materials to make materials. That I gotta actually do stuff to make stuff happen. Ripperoni. And so, what else goes in the general room? Let's go ahead and continue what we were doing. What's this? I got a few messages on Discord. I hope it's not that person. People like that make me tired because then I gotta sit there and try to explain how reality works to them. But luckily I didn't have to do it too much that time. They thought I was holding on or something. It looks like the server's starting to lag. And so before we destroy this, let's consider some things here. So for a general room, we could have chairs. We could have bookshelves. We could have a rug. We could have a table. Room we have to absolutely have a table. So it would completely destroy the balance if we... Actually, I should have... Yep. Dang it. We can have a tallow candle in here. Oh, man. Or a tallow lamp, my bad. Let's do 2. So to make our tallow lamp, we're gonna obviously need fuel. And then we're gonna need some of this lovely stuff that we're gonna put away right when we're done with it. And then we're gonna need some sand, and that should be it. So we don't even have a bedroom yet, but we could make a bedroom if we wanted. We just wouldn't have a kitchen, and then we'd have to move the bedroom up, and I'm not going to do that because I think that's stupid. I don't know. Let's get that sand going. But yeah, everybody seems to need iron in this game. So it really makes me question, in terms of reality, exactly how much iron people use in real life. Like what commodities have the highest rate of exchange. And of course the issue with that, it comes with concrete and things like that. Because they're made on the spot normally so that it could be cheap. And people just mix the raw commodities together, but the raw commodities are generally the same. It's just that people have their own brand of these mixtures to make their own customized, patented concrete that nobody else is allowed to use. And when somebody else comes out with something better, then they get upset and start flipping tables because they themselves, like big fucking babies, wanted to be selfish bastards. And they can't be fucking selfish if they can't get what they want. So they gotta resort to trying to regulate other forms of concrete that come out. This is real stuff, by the way. There's this thing called aircrete, and it's not even a big deal, but it's actually very unsafe to make houses out of if they're going to be skyscrapers, because skyscrapers need steel to, so they don't fly away whenever a storm comes, etc. But some people are stupid and actually want to misuse those materials, whereas other people aren't so stupid, and they know they can only use it for building houses, and they'll build a cheap house. Pretty good cheap house too. But what it won't build is a skyscraper. Or some office buildings. So people really have to consider that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be illegal, but California has got these lobbyists and they pretty much own everything, so it is illegal for them. I'm really gonna have to reconstruct the way this looks. I wonder how much time I spent on this. Not as much as I thought I did. I always think I spent like a whole bunch of time. And by a bunch, I mean like 16 hours or something. Not for this, obviously. At least 4 hours for this. And our tallow candles are ready. Let's see what they look like. man. I have to place it on this table. Or else it's gonna look ugly. But now I need to get rid of this. So, yeah, getting rid of that table really took a big hit on our score. Come on, man. Alright, let's see what hell it looks like when we actually light the candle up. Oh, snaps. That's not too bad, especially when we get 2 doors here for a general room anyway. Because this isn't the living room, this is like an introductory room. Like, oh, hey, look, we're entering somebody's house. So I guess that does make sense. But in terms of building a door, I don't know if we could do that yet. Ah, jeez. Nope, we can't. So we're gonna need doors from somebody else. We're gonna need small tables from somebody else. Maybe this rug. Yeah, we really need a table. A small table. Which is owned by this guy named Kenny. But we don't know what he wants. Alright, so here's a cool thing. Let's see what this guy wants. He's gonna buy plant fibers. Looks like he has a... Looks like he has tailoring. Red stone. For 3 each, and he wants, so if I bring him 10 more stone, I don't know how many he has, so I'm gonna have to bring him more stone 3 times. There's a way to get a small rug. And to get a medium rug, I'm gonna have to do it 5 times. And let's look at Kinney, which is our server overlord, if you will. He's not our host, he's just the guy with the most stuff or he's in charge of stuff. So this guy wants wilted fiddles and sausage stew. So, yeah, we don't cook. Not everybody can cook. Everybody can mine and get stone fairly easy. So the fact that nobody wanted to do so, being that I'm right next to a river, which is basically an easy mine, then, you know, let's high. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. Guy over here. We got a tallowed candle that we're not going to be using, which is a shame because now our house is going to look ugly. I might as well move this candle. And one thing I hate about doing this kind of stuff manually, I can change his prices on us if he's here, and force us to bring him more stuff. And that's really frustrating. All these people should at least buy raw materials. That's something I'll say. Come on, bro. That's a medium rug. Medium rugs are apparently a lot better than small rugs, isn't it? No, it's a farmer's table. We don't need that. Oh, jeez, what happened there? Okay. He can't accept my mortar and stone because there's no room in his inventory. I could try something tricky. So let's go ahead and get rid of this wagon thingy back here. By the time we actually get a wagon to do what these guys want, we're gonna be so far in a different time period. Now, one thing this game accurately simulates is the fact that even if everybody claims land, it doesn't really make a difference on the ecosystem any more than it would have before. It's just that people, you know, want to be dicks. Now, places where there's high areas of forestation that needs to be deforested if you want. United States. The only thing is that when it comes to that, there's some issues as well because they're still deforesting the area. So yeah, we gotta put this more stone back. Go away, elk. Each run an animal into it. So the kitchen looks appropriate. The building's purpose is being served by what it does, even though it might not look as aesthetic as it could look. It's still nice to some people, I suppose. And oh yeah, I was gonna try to be tricky with somebody. But I can't, so I'm gonna try some other tricks. Or not, actually, let's see. Does our friend knee pitch? And pitch. But he'll take 6 braziers, which I don't know if he actually still needs. Ugh, there goes that. That's a lost opportunity now. We'll go ahead and buy logs as well. Another thing we could do is make a whole bunch of kilns and sell those, because I know people don't want to waste their time on the kilns. And the issue with that is that nobody's going to even bother, even if we do it cheap. Even if we're the cheapest guys on the block. And then, of course, we're not the cheapest guys on the block, so. Like, let me just put this in perspective for a second. It takes approximately 3 stones to make one of these. Not really, it takes like 1.6 stones. We'll just say 2. It takes about 2 stones. I don't know. It takes Not really two. Actually, I think it takes a little more than two. My bad. It might be 2.6. But it takes 2.6 stones for me, or 2.5 or something, for me to make this. Probably 2.6. Yeah, it takes 2.6. Okay. So it takes 2.6 stones for me to make one of these mortar stones. So this little stone here, it takes me 1, 2, and a little bit of another one, and I can make one of these. Anybody else who doesn't have the skill, it's gonna take them about 5 times more than 2.6. It's gonna take them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some 13 stones in total, I believe. Approximately, maybe a little more. I don't really know how the efficiency is being calculated because of the excess pitch I've developed during processing all this stuff. And I can still make 250 more of these mortared stones before I run out of pitch, which is a lot. And so that means that by going through me with my prices, they're saving 10 stone for each one of these they make, which is about, they're literally almost saving 25%, or not 25, 20%. So they're almost saving 20%, almost, of what they can do. And I am doing things as efficiently as I can. So I'm still making a profit, even if they saved, not 20%, but they basically save almost 80%. They keep 20%. They only have to use 20% of what they have, or what they would normally have used to get this. And yet I'm still making a profit, and I'm being cheap about it. But it's the best deal they could get in the whole server. But yet they want to, I don't know if it's because I don't have roads or what, but they don't want any of the stone. And look how much I needed just to build this. Look how much I freaking needed. That probably will look nicer, but construction for mortared stone. Just one single regret. And so on 30 skill points, hopefully I'll have or whatever. And I could also make a tailing silo, where I can hide my tailings inside of it and just wall them off. Just tailings from having some negative effects on the ecosystem. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a closer look at that guy's shop. His shop is located on the edge of his territory, and that's a terrible idea. But he needs more stone. So what I think I'm gonna do, really selling logs or anything. Logs, but I could use one of my. I'm gonna need to chop a tree again, aren't I? Dang it. See, that's the stuff I don't like doing. Gosh. Oh, here we go. So this could potentially be great. It could be bad. Let me show you guys a trick. And by the way, this guy's charging for the cost of the rug and stuff like that 5 times the price of what he should be able to do if he was max efficiency. Again, friend. Is that Tekla? No, it's not. Our Falcon friend's probably over there. We don't want to, but basically, it's a little trick because of his placement of his shot, which is poorly placed, by the way. Alright, now we look at the map. Now we scroll out. And there he is. So... we might not have to mess with him after all. Now we're gonna have to mess with him. Alright, well anyway, I think I'm gonna stop the video here and we'll return tomorrow with the so he has all this space in his storage and he can't, it's not close enough to his shop, so he can't do anything with it. That's very stupid. And hope you enjoyed the show. If you watch it for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why you, I'm not really designing this for people to watch necessarily. I'm just doing it to do it, so I could be like, oh yep, I did this anyway. Thanks.